מוסדרת של המדינה להתעלל בצעירים, כי בגדול זה גם קודם כל מגיע להם, וזה אחלה.
What? And it's great revenge that we need to give it to them? I cannot believe that this is what he said. Violence is never okay. Never okay.
כמה שאנחנו צריכים לתת להם. ודבר שני, אולי זה גם ישמש אותנו קצת יותר כהרתעה. זאת אומרת, ברגע שהצד השני, שצריך לזכור...
Yo, lad, you clicked the title, you read the page. As you can see, the topic that we'll be discussing today is really sensitive. So I'm not going to be my energetic self. I just kind of want to get to the point, all right? So subscribe for the vibe. Let's get into it. I got a message the other day, and it was like, yo, TT, you're real misinformed. So at first, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all know me, man. Listen, I'm only human. I got offended. I was like, hold on. Misinformed? What? What you trying to say? Like I said some wrong shit? You know what I mean? Or somebody told me some wrong shit and made me think that it was the right shit? Put me on. What's up? You feel me? So I kind of got a little upset because I was like misinformed. 9 times out of 10 when I do a video, unless it's a documentary, which I rarely do, but I am going to start doing more going forward, which I did mention. Unless it's like a documentary, I don't fact check. If I'm not the one that's doing a documentary, I'm not going to fact check. I'm not going to lie. Because now, I even question facts. You probably like, TT, what? How you going to question something that can be proven? I don't even know what to believe anymore. All right, now, growing up, I always had this mentality, only believe half of what you see and question all of what you hear. I can't even, like, what I see with my eyes, I question that. And I do it even more now. Now you got AI. You got a device that can clone a voice. You got an app that can put a face on a person's body and make you think it's that person when it's not. So I really don't know what to believe. And as far as everything that's going on with the war right now, I'm an American, real closed off. I'm not too educated when it comes to that. My whole thing is, I don't like violence. I feel like violence doesn't get anyone anywhere. Period. And another thing that bothered me was the gays for Palestine. And I think this is where this conversation has started out. Because I was like, queers for Palestine, it didn't sound right to me. It didn't. So, yeah, and I think that's probably where that whole conversation came about, you know, me being misinformed, all right? So we're going to get into this video real quick that the lads sent me because they felt like I was misinformed, and it's time that I get informed, all right? So subscribe for the vibe. Shout out to the lad that put us on to this.
Shalom, Erev Tov.
All right, it says, this soldier was invited on Israel TV to defend himself and his unit. Over allegations they R-worded a male Palestinian prisoner.
בשביל זה אני יושב פה, להגן עלינו, להגן על כוח 100. גיא פלג, על מה עשית את זה? למה הכפשת את שמנו בעולם? למה ערכת את הסרטונים? אתה ערכת אותם. הם אנשים פסולים מבחינתי.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie. If it's some sick, twisted ish going on around me, the first thing that come to my mind is not to record it. The first thing is to figure out how can I save the situation or probably get away from the situation. I'll be real with you. I never understood when something, like, you know, people, you see something drastic happen. Oh God, pull out your phone! Unless it's like, something drastic to the point where, like, I know I couldn't help or get help, and the only way that I can help is if to show the evidence, then fine, maybe. You get what I'm saying? But if somebody's in dire need and I'm just sitting there recording, to me, that's just sick to me. That's sick to me. And you're no different from the people that's actually doing the harm to that person.
יש לנו תקשורת אחרת, יש לנו התנהלות אחרת.
Yo, what? The victim was hospitalized and unable to walk? Damn, this incident divided Israel's society.
שעורר טעם, אתה יודע, ראית זעם שלא ראיתי, אנשים הגיעו לשדה תימן. מה אתה חושב באמת על הדבר הזה שאנשים כל כך קפצו לשמור עליכם, להגן עליכם?
קודם כל שמחתי מאוד שהימין יודע להתעורר בארץ ישראל. אני לא רוצה להיכנס לימין ושמאל, אבל זה בסוף יוצא ככה, זה לא יעזור כלום, כי הצד הימני הוא זה שקם. עם ישראל יודע להתעורר כשצריך.
So what happened exactly? Because clearly the guy was definitely R-worded. So what happened though?
אני חושב שצה"ל שלנו הוא צבא בריא ביותר. המפקדים, הלוחמים, אנשי השטח. אם יש מישהו במערכות למעלה שרוצה לקלקל לנו, אני פה להגן על שמנו הטוב.
Shout out to the lad. He actually sent me another video which explains more of this situation, all right? So again, thoughts and prayers. Let's get into it. Let's get educated. Let's be aware. Like I always tell you, believe half of what you see and question all of what you hear, all right? We are about to do this video. We have to listen. Does not mean that we could take everything that this video was saying and run with it, okay? Question everything you hear. Do your research. Let's get it.
The Palestinian who was hospitalized after being raped, gang raped by a bunch of Israelis, has been taken back to the Stay Teiman concentration camp. And let me quote the injuries. He was hospitalized with a ruptured bowel, a severe injury to his anus, lung damage, and broken ribs. I mean, this is horrific. It's honestly horrific. It's not just rape. It's violent behavior. You know.
They caught it on camera. Footage of Israel soldiers gang R-wording. What? A Palestinian hostage. What? This is on camera? Oh my goodness. That is sick and twisted. That is sick and effing twisted, bro. Nah.
It's beyond that.
חמאס שוכבים על הרצפה כפותים, עיניהם מכוסות. הנה כאן קבוצה של חייל...
No way this is going to be shown on YouTube. And if they do, I'm going to blur it out because I refuse. But what the hell are they about to show us?
המילואים מכוח 100, יחידה המשמשת להבטחת המתקן. הם לוקחים את המחבל, הנה הם כאן בפינת המתקן, כנראה מודעים למצלמות האבטחה, ומנסים להסתיר מעשיהם במגינים. הצילום כולל תיעוד של העבירה מיוחסת לאנשי המילואים, מעשה סדום בנסיבות אינוס. שעות אחר כך פונה המחבל לבית החולים מדמם.
Oh my goodness, my bad, y'all. I should probably be reading this with y'all. Okay, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm just really trying to wrap my head around this. Okay, it says the Palestinian detainees on the ground tied up and blindfolded.
מילואים מכוח 100, יחידה המשמשת להבטחת המתקן.
Okay, so this is the group responsible for guarding the prisoners. They take one of the prisoners aside to the corner of the detention center.
לוקחים את המחבל, הנה הם כאן בפינת המתקן.
They knew the cameras were recording.
כנראה מודעים.
They tried to hide their actions from surveillance cameras using shields.
למצלמות האבטחה ומנסים להסתיר מעשיהם במגינים. הצילום כולל תיעוד של העבירה מיוחסת לאנשי המילואים, מעשה סדום בנסיבות אינוס.
Oh my goodness, bro. That is sick. That is sick, yo. And of course, I'm gonna have to blur this out. Even though on his page he has it, I'm not sure about guidelines when it comes to things like this, and I definitely don't want to get demonetized for whatever reason. This video is for educational purposes only, so I'm gonna blur this out. But you can go look at the original video. This is sick and twisted, and honestly, this just breaks my heart on so many different levels. And what really bothers me the most is the fact that these sick, twisted individuals, they knew what they were doing and they tried to hide it. And the fact that people are defending them, that's sick. This is a human at the end of the day, a human who 9 times out of 10 doesn't even know what exactly is going on. Like, this war is so...
אחר כך פונה המחבל לבית החולים מדמם. הפציעות שלו הוגדרו מורכבות. הקביעה הרפואית חד משמעית. הפציעות נגרמו מהחדרה של חפץ.
חבריי, שבגדול זה מעניין את העכוז, לא מה עושים לבחורצ'יק הזה.
מה? זה מה שבאמת...
Yo, he said he told his friends that he don't care what they did to that guy. What?
חד משמעית. אני אתן לי...
רגע,
אני
תן
אסביר.
לו להשלים.
חיילים שמבצעים עבירה,
ובכן,
חשודים
ג'וש.
בעבירה של אינוס,
כן.
בעצור
זה מעניין לי.
כפות. זה לא מעניין אותך?
יפה.
לא
זה-
מעניין אותך טוהר המידות של החיילים
אין
שלנו?
בעיה.
Exactly. So the interview is asking him about like where's like your morals, bro? Like this is moral guy.
אני...
אגב, אלה לא חיילים, אם הם עשו את זה, הם לא חיילים, הם עבריינים.
בגדול, עוד פעם, זה מעניין לי את העכוז מה עשו לאיש חמאס הזה. אני כל הזמן זוכר, קודם כל הדבר היחיד שמבחינתי הוא בעיה פה, זה שזו לא איזושהי מדיניות מוסדרת של המדינה להתעלל בצעירים. כי בגדול, זה גם, קודם כל מגיע להם, וזה אחלה
What? And it's great revenge that we need to give it to them? I cannot believe that this is what he said. Violence is never okay. Never okay.
כמה שאנחנו צריכים לתת להם. ודבר שני, אולי זה גם ישמש אותנו קצת יותר כהרתעה. זאת אומרת, ברגע שהצד השני, שצריך לזכור, ג'וש, וצריך לזכור את זה טוב טוב, ולא להתקהות ולא להתקרר אף פעם. האנשים האלה קשרו 30 מבנותינו על עצים ב7 באוקטובר, ועשו להם מעשים.
So, but here's my thing though, right? Both is wrong. Both is wrong. Two wrongs never make a right. And trying to be more wrong than the other side or try to get on their level, at that point, then you're just as bad as dumb. You're just as bad as dumb. What are we talking about here? Drop a comment, tell me if I'm wrong.
לא פחות חמורים, אני לא רוצה בכלל לעשות השוואה, חמורים בצורה קיצונית. אז קודם כל, זה מגיע להם, זו נקמה ראויה מאוד, רק חבל שלא עושים את זה בצורה ממוסדת, כחלק מתקנון התעללות בעצירים, כי אז החבר'ה הבאים שיחשבו לעשות...
Yo, the fact that he is saying that, yo, I can't believe this, bro.
7 באוקטובר יגידו, אתם רואים מה עושים להם בישראל? אל תחשבו על זה בכלל.
קודם כל, צר לי שהדברים האלה בכלל זוכים משידור ניב, כי מה שעושה פה שלזינגר זה פשוט הסתה לאלימות. הסתה לאלימות.
אוי אוי אוי.
האיש הזה...
ממש הסתה?
האיש הזה עכשיו תמך בעבירות של אינוס
של מחבלים נוראים, אנשי חמאס שרוצים להרוג גם אותך ולכפות אותך ולתקתק אותך כמו שהם.
אני אחדד את זה רק שלז, אני חושב שהוא לא, אף אחד פה לא, בטח...
Just like I said, this sounds like a two wrongs make a right. Like, oh, they did that so we can do this. No, at some point the violence just gotta stop.
אני חושב, ג'וש, לא רוצה להגן על התועבה.
אני חושב שהמסרים האלה...
השאלה היא, האם ראוי שחייל צה"ל, בכל נסיבה שהיא, יחדיר חפץ חד לאחוזו של אדם?
מדובר בחמאסניק, איש ששרף פה ילדים, שאנס נשים, שכל הרעיון שלו הוא לקחת את כל אחד מאיתנו, לזרוק אותו לים ולעשות בו את המעשים הכי קשים, זו הנקמה שהם צריכים לקבל, ויותר מזה זה צריך להיות כוח הרתעתי. עצוב לי שהדברים של ג'וש...
רגע, הוא לא אמר, איך עצוב לך כבר? הוא לא אמר, אבל רגע, תן לו לדבר.
זה נורא חבל שאומרים דברים כאלה בשידור, חבל לי שאומרים דברים כמו שאתה אומר בשידור, מחלישים את העם, האויב רואה, רואה כמה אתה רופס, כמה אתה רוצה את העם.
And the fact that Israelis were rioting, almost sparking a civil war. I mean, when you overrun 2 military bases, I would say that you're close to a civil war, right? You're trying to take control of the military police, and you're debating whether it's okay to shove sticks in people's butts on television in the Knesset. I would say that that's a decadent society with no morality left. And they sent this person back. I mean, Jesus Christ, you arrested the people. I don't know if they've been charged yet. They let one of them go. But you can clearly see this person has been tortured. Why would you send them back to the concentration camp? How do you know that there aren't other people who participated in this, who are there, who might do this again? Here in the Times of Israel, so the doctor who reported the abuse, who worked at the Estate Eiman concentration camp. They call it a detention facility. A detention facility, really? I call it a rape dungeon. The doctor said there was no way he could have ignored the signs of serious sexual abuse that he reported seeing on a Palestinian detainee that he treated recently at the IDF base in southern Palestine. Speaking to the Khan broadcaster in an interview aired Friday evening, Dr. Yoel Donchin confirmed a report from medical sources that the detainee had been presented at the field hospital with broken ribs and signs of physical abuse on multiple bones. He also confirmed that something round had been inserted deep into the detainee's rectum, causing a tear in the lower bowel and damage to one of the lungs that required emergency surgery. Jesus Christ. I mean, how do you rape someone so violently that you damage their lungs? This is what the West is condoning. You can't sit there and tell me that Western leaders don't know this is happening. Don't insult our intelligence. They are approving this behavior. They condone and allow this behavior. They sanction this. So these soldiers, as I told you before, they're not charged yet, but suspected of
It's the fact that they're not even charged yet.
aggravated sodomy, which is considered to be, equivalent to rape, causing bodily harm under aggravated circumstances, abuse under aggravated circumstances, and conduct unbecoming of a soldier. That's putting it mildly. The veteran anesthesiologist told Khan that he felt an obligation as a doctor to report the signs of abuse. It had not crossed his mind that the detainee had been tortured by his Israeli guards. Right? Why would Israelis be capable of this? They have the most moral army in the world. Just gang raping people. That's moral. So the quote is, just as if a child or a woman turned up at a hospital with signs of abuse, in this case, our impression was that this was an incident that needed to be reported. The first thing that came to my mind was that other prisoners had what we, other prisoners had what we Israelis would do something like that? Yes. If he is a big Hamas elite force, Nukhba, so that's what they mean with Nukhba, criminal, and he killed people, he'll stand trial, but I'm not the judge, the doctor who said he has been criticized for both whistleblowing and for treating suspected terrorists insisted. There they are overrunning the base. It's like, how dare you, oblige wounded or sick people and uphold your oath, your Hippocratic oath as a doctor? How dare you do that? How dare you actually do your job? I think it really says a lot about Israelis. They just don't believe in human rights. They really don't. They don't believe in the Geneva Convention because, what the doctor is hinting at here, but which I am going to underscore, is that, yes, even if someone is supposedly a quote-unquote terrorist, like you say, guess what? They have rights as a human being. They have rights as a combatant. Now, you may be a savage and your army behaves like savages and barbarians, but you signed the Geneva Convention, did you not? So you're violating international law. The Nazis, their argument for starving and death marching millions of Russian POWs purely because they were Slavic. So they did this as a racist, pogrom, basically. They genocided the Soviet Union. 27 million people lost. They did it on a race.
Yo, what has to happen for this to end? And I really want to know your opinion. This been going on for years. A lot of people don't even know that. They feel like this just started going down October 7th. Absolutely not. This been going on for years. Okay, this didn't just start in October. So I'm just concerned, is there an end game to this? Is there a solution, a conclusion? Because innocent lives are being targeted. And that's what bothers me the most. All right.
Racial basis, right? Just to be very clear. The Nazis argued that this was legal in their minds, right? In their minds. Because the Russians hadn't signed the Geneva Convention. Well, I'm sorry to inform you, both Nazis and Nazi Israelis, since they collaborated together, that it doesn't matter who you have in your custody, whether they signed the Geneva Convention or not, whether they are terrorists or they are not. You signed the Geneva Convention. You are bound to it. Do you understand this concept? Your signature is on the fucking paper. Do you get it? You are bound to the Geneva Convention, not the prisoner. Okay? You can't rape prisoners. Sorry that this has to be said, but it has to be said. So, in addition to this, 2 people have died at the same concentration camp. Surprise, surprise. As a matter of fact, the figure is 21 in total. Now, this is what we know. They say 1 Palestinian detainee died of torture. I know that it's 2, okay? I know that it's 2 detainees. But just to be clear, these 2 that just died are not the same person that I was just talking about that was raped and hospitalized. These people might have been raped, I don't know, but they're not the same person, just to be clear, okay? As I said, that one was sent back, which is, I don't know which fate is more horrific, but there you go. So, they're saying Omar Junaid was one of scores of Gazan detainees who died of torture at Israeli prisons. The Commission of Detainees Affairs at the Palestinian Prisoner Society said, you have in Palestine something called it's a club or a society for the Palestinian prisoners. Basically, they represent them because many of them well, there's no one to speak for them, simply, so they publish figures and they publish statements on behalf of the prisoners and so on, just so you know. So, according to the statement, Junaid was arrested along with his brother by Israeli forces in December. His brother was released 4 months later, but Junaid was pronounced dead on June 17th by an Israeli group. Okay. According to the statement, at least 21 Palestinians have died at Israeli prisons since October 7, basically. I know they call them detainees, but, they're hostages. Again, you have to understand something. Israelis rule Palestinians using martial law, okay? And it's specifically British martial law. It's the 1945 Emergency Defense Regulations. So again, to be very clear, the Israelis use an outdated British colonial martial law to hold Palestinians without charge and trial. Kidnap them. I mean, what do you call someone who's held in a dungeon without charge and without trial? And who...
Torture. They're really torturing them. And like I said, once you go to a level where you feel like, okay, you guys did that and that was wrong, so now we're going to do that back, if not worse. Or whatever, you have that mentality. You then become what you did not like. You then become what you hated. It has to stop. Listen, man, shout out to the lad that put me onto this. I'm not gonna lie, this story is a little, it's a bit much. Not a little, it's a bit much. So I'm gonna end it here. I recommend you guys do your research, send your prayers up, drop those comments, man. Just violence is never the way, bro.